Hey there, and welcome to this video where I'll be sharing 15 reasons why people don't heal. I'm Jennifer Ellis Schutz, founder of the Wellness Code Academy, and I'm so glad to have you here with me and share my insights with you. The insights that I'll be sharing in this video are integral to both health seekers and the practitioners and coaches that they hire to help them. And if what I share in this video resonates with you and you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell to be notified when new videos are released, and be sure to leave a comment. And if you happen to be watching on Instagram or Facebook, once again, be sure to like the video, follow me, leave your comments below, and share it with anybody that you feel might benefit. And now, before jumping into the 15 reasons, I first need to cover two important points to give each of the reasons a bit more context, a bit more foundation. Point number one, healing and being cured are often terms that are used interchangeably, but are very different. Cured, which is not a term that I prefer or choose to use for chronic conditions, is arriving to a point of being 100% rid of any processes or evidence of those processes that cause disease. Healed, on the other hand, which is much more fitting when it comes to chronic conditions, refers to increasing function, improving wellness, and restoring resilience to a point where a person is no longer a prisoner of symptoms, illness, and disease processes. Now, for some, depending on the condition, healing could translate to reaching a point where there's no longer evidence of a disease process existing. But for others, this may translate into still having evidence of a disease process in the body, but reaching a point of arresting it and reversing damage to the point of living a vibrant, robust life. An example of this would be Dr. Terry Walls, who was diagnosed with MS many years ago. Though she still shows evidence of having MS in her body, she's reached a point of remission, has reversed much of the damage, and is living life on her terms, vibrantly. This said, however, she also realizes that cells have memory, and that if she goes back to engaging in the things that led her to get sick in the first place, that the disease process could be reignited. Point number two, I've come to learn that there are two types of chronic dis-ease that we all need to be aware of. Type number one, non-complex. Some common characteristics of non-complex include largely driven by lifestyle and lack of self-care factors. Responds well to lifestyle and biochemical-based interventions such as lab testing, pathogen eradication protocols, detoxes, etc. And once they commit, a person typically has the wherewithal to implement and stick with necessary lifestyle shifts. The healing path does have some ups and downs, but it's relatively straightforward, and the person does recover and get on with their life. But then there's type 2, complex. Some common characteristics of this include improvements from biochemical-based interventions such as lab testing, pathogen eradication protocols, detoxes, etc., are often short-lived, or the person cannot tolerate them. The person often lacks the wherewithal to implement and stick with necessary lifestyle shifts. They take it to perfectionist extremes, or they toggle back and forth. Despite a substantial investment of time, energy, and finances in various interventions, the person often remains stuck. And this often goes on for years or even an entire lifetime. There's often a sense of powerlessness. Depression and anxiety run rampant. And unfortunately, truth be told, type 2 is becoming more the norm than the exception. In this scenario, whether one is a health seeker or practitioner or coach they hire to help them, it's time to go way beyond relying on labs, supplements, medications, and other biochemical only focused interventions to correct the issues, and look upstream of what is keeping one stuck in a chronic stress illness cycle, which is where the reasons I'm going to share with you in this video come in. So let's jump right in. Okay, so why don't people heal? What keeps them stuck? Both my personal experiences with long-term complex chronic health issues in which I succumbed to each of these reasons at different points in my journey, and now in my experiences in working with hundreds of clients, I've learned the following, which are in no particular order. They overlap with one another, and not all reasons or all aspects of any one reason apply to all people. This said, the reasons are as follows. Number one, people remain in situations that continually drain them of the energy and resilience needed for recovery to happen. This could be relationships, careers, lifestyles, etc. Number two, they've not yet made restoring their health a big enough priority, particularly when it comes to self-care and embracing a lifestyle that promotes adequate toxin reduction and detoxification. Because of exponentially increasing levels of stress and toxins in our world, it's becoming exponentially difficult to maintain optimal health, let alone heal from chronic issues. And because of this, it's essential to take continuous measures to ensure that we prioritize taking care of ourselves and that we're able to get rid of more toxins than our body accumulates, which includes electromagnetic frequency and blue light toxicities. Number three, going along with what I just said, and number two is that people don't prioritize nor optimize the 12 greatest and most important healers that exist, and where healing must begin, which are with ample sunlight, restorative sleep, optimal hydration, bioavailable nutrition, and in other words, eating to reduce inflammation, daily movement, proper breathing, nature connection, self-compassion, a calm mind, and healthy, supportive, nurturing relationships. Number four, they don't yet fully understand or understand at all the big picture of how they arrive to where they're at and what's truly required to heal. In light of this, they tend to embrace a germ theory versus a terrain theory of recovery. This tends to keep them seeking cure-all magic bullet treatments aimed primarily at killing bugs and detoxing toxins that not only don't work, but they don't exist when it comes to chronic conditions. This perspective often keeps people seeking help and support from conventional medicine, which, bottom line, was created for acute care and crisis intervention only, and simply is not designed to adequately guide and support those with chronic issues. Another aspect of this is that they have not yet arrived at the realization that they must become their own best self-healer. Others can be guides, supports, and facilitators of healing, but when it comes to healing from chronic issues, nobody else can fix, cure, or provide all our answers or do the healing work for us. We must all do the daily work required to heal in between sessions with those that we hire to support and guide us. Next up, we have gut health. Has been under-addressed, especially when one hasn't or doesn't struggle with obvious gut symptoms. Number six goes along with gut health in that a person can lose so much of their indigenous gut flora due to taking too many antibiotics or other insults, and the gut simply cannot fully heal regardless of how many gut healing interventions are implemented. Sadly, this is a factor I had to face, which led me to go to Mexico to do intensive FMT therapy to rebuild my microbiome, which stands for fecal microbiota transplant therapy. This involves collecting the gut flora from a healthy donor and implanting it into another person via enemas and or freeze-dried capsules. I did both and it was life-changing. Number seven, they continue to eat foods, even healthy foods, and or take supplements or meds that repeatedly trigger an inflammatory immune response. This is more common than most imagine. Number eight, there are underlying hidden toxins and infections that have not been adequately addressed. A biggie in this category is hidden dental toxins and infections such as in metal fillings and root canal teeth. Both of these were significant factors for me. Number 9, they repeatedly try to rush things, do too much at once, and force the body to heal, which further stresses an already stressed system. Number 10, they're stuck within a complex PTSD trauma loop that continues to hijack their nervous system, which is the master control of physiological functions. This makes a person a weak host and vulnerable to holding on to and accumulating toxins and infections, as well as poor responders to healing interventions. This is another big one, and I would say the leading reason why people don't heal. It was definitely a leading factor for me, though it took me well over a decade to realize it and admit to it and be willing to address it. This is such a big factor that starting with my next video that I produce, I'll be creating videos specifically around complex PTSD. The first one coming out will be complex PTSD's impact on the body. Stay tuned. Factor 11 is they're embracing a victim mindset, have not yet taken 100% responsibility for their healing, and continue to ruminate on the mind stories of all the shitty and unfair things that have happened to them. This only serves to perpetuate a chronically engaged stress response, a sense of powerlessness, and keeps them seeking others to provide the exact prescriptive interventions that will fix or cure them. Lack of desired outcomes then often lead to repeated cycles of discouragement, anger, and resentment, which then serve to reinforce the victim mindset further and anchor them to their trauma. Number 4, which is one of the most important healers mentioned earlier, is that they're simply not getting enough consistent restorative sleep, which is the mother of all medicines and the most important antioxidant and detoxifier that exists. Number 13, learning and implementing tools for nervous system self-regulation and moving the energy of trauma out of the body where it lives hasn't been a big enough priority or done with enough consistency, which this is a big reason why people stay stuck in complex PTSD trauma loops. Number 14, they continue to hold on to things that they need to let go of, as well as resist things that they need to allow in. For instance, they may be holding on to anger of a wrongdoing or resisting leaving a toxic relationship. And lastly, number 15, they're stuck in a rut due to not taking action, taking actions that are not right for them, trying to take too much action too quickly, not being consistent with the right actions, or continuing to take the same actions over and over, yet desiring and expecting different outcomes. And this brings me to the end of the 15 reasons why people don't heal. So what's the key takeaway here? Well, the way I see it, it's this. 1, can take the highest quality supplements, eat the cleanest diet, do the best detox protocols, and implement the most cutting edge health interventions that they can find and afford. But if they do not eliminate the factors in their body, their minds, and in their environments and in their life that repeatedly trigger a chronic cell danger response, a defense mode, they'll be spinning their wheels and will make little to no progress in terms of achieving sustainable wellness in the long term. This was the insanity I lived for too long, and if I could help just one person shift their trajectory in a favorable direction by sharing my hard-won lessons, then I'll consider my work a huge success. Thanks for watching, and once again, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share if my message today resonated with you. Additionally, if you'd like to learn more, be sure to visit my websites and check out all my free resources. I have some really great stuff. And if you're seeking personalized health and transformational coaching for health restoration purposes, I invite you to join my waitlist. And if you're an aspiring or current wellness professional seeking a well-rounded, trauma-informed, and empowerment-based training program, be sure to check out my Wellness Code Health and Life Optimization Coach Training Certification Program, which runs yearly, and the next run is January 2022. Enrollment is now open. You can find links to everything below if on YouTube, in my profile if on Instagram, or in the text of the post if on Facebook. Cheers to your healing, increased resilience, and success. Until next time, be well.